I'm going to talk about just the introduction of what is blood gas and the collection and how to transport of the blood gas for the analysis, and then the 5 steps of interpreting the blood gas and metabolic components of the blood gas and respiratory component of the blood gas. These are things which I'm going to talk. Blood gas analysis is the almost a routine test in the emergency department. Heparinized blood is used for the blood gas analysis. The correct amount of heparin and blood is very important to prevent coagulation of the blood and to obtain the accurate test results. If you add a lot of heparin, it gives the more acidity. And if you apply less heparin, if you get the less heparin, then there will be a coagulation of blood. So heparin should be taken in the syringe to lubricate inner wall of the syringe, and then heparin should be expelled from the syringe completely. The dilution effect of heparin may cause a fall in PCO2 and bicarbonate concentration. The concentrated heparin may result in an increase in PCO2 and reduction in pH. So concentrated heparin may result in increased carbon dioxide and reduction in pH, that make more acidic. Right. Blood sample. If you take the arterial blood specimen is the first choice for blood gas analysis. But it doesn't matter if you can't take arterial blood, because sometimes taking arterial blood, it causes patient discomfort and also other complications. Therefore, many times you might use the venous blood gas, but that is okay. In emergency department, most of the time we do venous blood gas. Even in other countries, it's safe. The composition of the venous blood gas is affected by the local activities of the organ. And it is therefore not indicative of the acid-base status of the whole body. But there are some equation has to be derived to predict arterial values from the venous value. These are some sort of formulas for you to work out the arterial blood gas, arterial pH from the venous pH, and arterial PCO2 from the venous PCO2, and arterial bicarbonate from the venous bicarbonate. Which using these formulas, you can predict the arterial pH, arterial blood gases from the venous. Okay. So once you collect the blood sample for the blood gas analysis, should be transported to the laboratory as soon as possible, because it should be analyzed within 15 to 30 minutes of blood after blood collection. Right. So what are the steps for blood collection for blood gas analysis? Right. You have to take a little amount of heparin in a 2 ml of syringe to lubricate the inner wall of the syringe, and then flush out the heparin completely. You have to take the heparin and completely flush out. The little amount of heparin would remain in the cap of the syringe. That is enough. You can collect the 2 ml arterial or venous blood in the heparinized syringe. Filling the syringe is complete is very important. Okay, and then completely remove the heparin and collect the bloods. Good. And you have to remove air bubbles quickly if there's any. Oh, and place the needle cap. Don't bend the needle. I have seen some of the guys who bend the needle before run. Don't bend the needle. And it's better if you can insert the tip of the needle into a rubber cap, or injection vial is also important. Whatever the thing, you can prevent leakage of gases. First, remove the air bubble and insert the rubber cap, or if you don't have, you can inject the injection vial to prevent the leakage. And mix the blood in the syringe gently by rotating the syringe in between the palms of your hand to ensure mixing of the blood with heparin. It should be like this. Just rotate in between your palms. Good. Send the sample to the laboratory immediately, and this is important, keep the syringe in a container having ice water slurry, not with ice alone. Don't put ice alone. It's no point. You have with the ice and water slurry between ice, break ice into small pieces and keep it ice and water slurry, not only with the ice, only with ice. Okay, this ice water slurry. So how do we collect blood? So this is important. You have to select the patient, non-dominant hand of a patient. Usually, this is a usual teaching, non-dominant hand of the patient, not the dominant hand, and choose the non-dominant artery. Either it is radial or it is ulnar. So you have to use what is called Allen's test to detect the dominant or dominant vessels, which I'll explain what it is, and you can Google it and see. I'll teach you how to do it, and then can use the venous blood or arterial blood if you like. If you want to do the arterial blood, take the non-dominant hand and the non-dominant vessel. Cool. So this is the modified Allen's test. How to do? The radial and ulnar artery are first occluded with the firm pressure, while the fist is clenched until the hand blanches, and then the hand is opened and the pressure is released from the either from ulnar artery. See whether the his adequate arterial circulation established within 50 seconds. If not, that is not the dominant artery. If it is with the radial artery would be the dominant artery. So you have to take the arterial blood from the non-dominant hand, non-dominant artery as well. How do you request a blood? So if you don't have a blood gas analysis in your department, so you have to send the blood sample with a request. You can't just send the blood sample. What we say, we take the blood syringe into the kidney tray and put everything, ask them to take the blood sample. That is okay, but in a bit of a standard way, some of the blood gas analyzer, they want some of the information of the, probably the name and the age is important, but please mention the inspired fraction of your patient. What amount of oxygen, inspired oxygen he is on at the moment? Is it 40% or 50% or 60%? And the oxygen saturation level, please mention the oxygen saturation level. If he is with oxygen, whether saturation is 90% or 95, whatever. And hemoglobin level of the patient, if it is available, is important. Hemoglobin level of the patient and the temperature, patient's temperature. Because the blood gas analyze, blood gas is set up in the some of the standard. They measure that if you have a patient with high temperature, their analysis is different from the low temperature. So you have to mention the patient name and age, that is of course, and but the FiO2 inspired fraction of oxygen, oxygen saturation level, hemoglobin level if you have, and the temperature, patient's temperature, not the environment temperature. Good.